Bickley and Marotta. Bickley and Marotta mornings. Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
The Diamondbacks are a conundrum. They are the most pampered baseball team I've ever seen in my life, where days off and mandated rest are absurdly important to the manager, and yet with all this coddling, they have been hit by one injury after another after another. It's almost like an NFL team that tries to protect its players in the preseason, only to have them more prone to injuries because they're not calloused enough. This year's team also seems a bit soft between the ears, not always locked in, with too many fielding errors, too many base running mistakes, and over the weekend in Philadelphia, one of their players forgot how many outs there were while on the base paths. That is unacceptable in high leverage games in a National League currently overloaded with very good teams. Now, I understand it's early, and if you would have told me that on May 5th the A's would have more wins than Arizona and that a non-roster invitee would be serving as our de facto closer, I would assume the Diamondbacks would be stuck inside a nightmare, and we're not. I also understand much of this is injury related, but that is the whole source of my frustration. How can a team so into preserving the health of their players be so addled by injuries? My guess is it's either really bad luck or a really bad approach. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW. Make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
I'm so proud of this team. They went out there and gave everything they had for 10 innings. They had to reload. They had to refocus. They were resilient. You talk about mental toughness, blocking out the distractions of the weather. Do we start on time or not? The coughing up the lead. It was just one of those games where I couldn't say enough good things about the energy we played with today and the focus that we had.
Yeah, that was Torey Lovullo after that win yesterday to salvage the series finale against the Philadelphia Phillies. 3-3 road trip. You just hit on the crux of a lot of things for frustrated Diamondbacks fans. If this approach of scheduled days off was
slow rolling your way into the season, don't push too hard early.
Yeah, if you were seeing the effects of that where everybody was healthy, you'd be like, okay, this makes sense. There's no data that proves that this prevents injuries.
None. It's sort of like the load management thing in the NBA, where Adam Silver's like, look, we've got nothing that suggests managing loads in the NBA is actually a good strategy.
Yeah, other than just the overall logic of you can't get hurt if you're not playing.
Well, there is that.
But other than that, tempering how much time you spend on a baseball field or a basketball court, it doesn't really prevent anything.
No. So again, it just really a source of frustration to me, because I've never seen anything like this where a manager will sit you down in the middle of a hot streak because it's on a calendar that's the day you're taking off. I will never agree with that strategy. But I do take solace in the fact that yesterday I think they found the thread offensively. They had been scuffling for a while offensively, but they got back to the idea of everybody putting together a good patient at bat, drawing some walks, using all parts of the ballpark, not trying to hit home runs, and you saw the output yesterday. Wasn't always pretty. That game shouldn't have been that close, but they were able to continue moving the line, and that's kind of what they need to do offensively to kind of get out of this next week in one piece. You've got the Mets, and then you've got the Dodgers, and then you've got the Giants. Then you get a respite with the Rockies, and then it all begins again. But again, the thing about the Diamondbacks in the National League is, I've said a couple times this morning, you talk to any of the national baseball writers, and they all say the same thing. The number one story in baseball this year is the discrepancy in talent between the two leagues. All the good teams are in the National League.
But the standings don't necessarily prove that right now. Because here are the American League teams that are better than the Diamondbacks record-wise right now. Detroit, Seattle, Cleveland, the Yankees, the A's, and the Kansas City Royals all have better records than the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and I don't know, out of those teams, which ones are actually better than the Diamondbacks. I mean, probably the Yankees, but I think in terms of look, the Mariners, the A's, few games over 500. I think that kind of speaks to the point. I would feel better if this Diamondbacks team just seemed a little more locked in at all times. Friday night, like I said, there was a bunt attempt from Geraldo Perdomo that apparently made the manager mad in real time. By Saturday morning, he wasn't so mad, but it was the fact that Lourdes Gurriel Jr. got doubled off when Jerry popped up the bunt because Lourdes thought there were 2 outs in the inning at the time.
But even popping up a bunt by somebody, Perdomo's been fantastic.
He has been, and that's probably not the point in time when you want to be bunting, and I think that's the manager's approach. But it's just so weird that a team that stresses days off for health maintenance has just been ravaged by injuries.
And the other part that has kind of backfired on that whole plan too is I don't have the number of instances in front of me. But yesterday, for instance, Ketel Marte's 3rd game back, scheduled day off. And they said on the broadcast, Steve Berthiaume said, hey, Torre went to Ketel Marte and said, what games do you want to play? And he said, I definitely want to play Friday. And then Friday turned into, well, we need to win on Saturday, so I want to play. And they lost that game. But then Sunday turns into, you didn't want to win on Sunday? They win on Sunday, and it's his scheduled day off. And I'm not correlating those two things. It's mind-boggling in a lot of ways.
It really, really is. And so I don't know. I don't know if there's a better approach or not, but it's been frustrating for me.
My point was, too, on players like Ketel Marte and Gabby Moreno, when they do have those scheduled days off, game situations, because of the bullpen failures and their inability to hold leads, usually turn into them playing anyway for multiple innings.
Yeah, that's right. And so how good is a day off if you're still making an appearance in a game? And if you're still making an appearance in the game, couldn't you just play the game? And again, I know I'm starting to sound like old school dude here, but it's so different now. It's like Rob Brenly told us that. It's like you can't go and tell a player now, can you? Hey, we need you in the lineup today, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I need a day off, Skip.
Skip, come on, man.
Well, but when it comes to Gabby, like, find a catcher that catches over 100 games. Like, that's not...
You can't ask that.
Right, exactly. But when it comes to, like, even though Ketel just got back, if he says he's ready to roll and good to go, like, he needs to be in the lineup. He's Ketel Marte. You know what I mean? It doesn't make much sense. And then Hampson's starting in center the other day. And, I mean, Jake McCarthy's hitting .435 in Reno, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. But hopefully we get him back. But, I mean, to your point of these games matter whether you like it or not. They're whether they're division opponents or the Mets and Phillies, those are...
We know how much one game can cost the team after last year.
And that's what it all boils down to. Back to Bickley's Blast is, and you use the phrase, it's early. It's not that early.
We're almost a fifth of the way through the season now.
These games hold as much weight as the games do in September.
Absolutely.
And you're 5 games behind the Dodgers right now.
On the coddling and the babying and the frustration, we talked about they've kept them stretched out, but get ready for no more than 4 innings from Ryan Nelson tonight.
You know this for a fact?
No,
but he's probably right. He's probably accurate.
It.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to have some real clean stuff early to go deeper than that. But yeah, but I think in a situation like that, that's probably
I guess
wise.
You don't. Yeah. By the way, also unrelated to rest, but Gino Suarez leads the entire Major League Baseball in errors this season. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
he's just the frustration all around with everything.
Not been as solid defensively, certainly.
No. This is not it. They've not been nearly as crisp as they want to be. It's part of been their DNA the last few years, and it's kind of gotten away from them a little bit. But there's some issues.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Murata. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.